To our channel. This is our part 2 of clinical applications of ECG. So in that before part we didn't see the ECGs of sinus tachycardia, sinus bradycardia. So now let us see. This is sinus tachycardia from lead 1 and this is sinus bradycardia from lead 3. You can see tachycardia, there are rapid that is RR interval is very small, you can see because of rapid QRS complex rise. Peaks you can see they are very continuous, but whereas you can compare this with tachycardia and bradycardia, you can see the gaps are very long between the QRS complex, or also we can say the RR interval is very long, the interval is long, you can see. So this is the sinus bradycardia, and the sinus erythema as recorded by cardiotachometer to the left is record when the subject was breathing normally, that is the person is breathing normally, to the right when the breathing deeply. So you can see when breathing normally, just you can see this kind, but you can see deep breath, as the deep breath even you can see the curves are also going deeper. And next sinoatrial node block with AV nodal rhythm during the block period, that is mainly lead 3 sinoatrial. So you can see SA block starting it's normal, but you can see here because of SA block there is absence of P wave here and it is straight line, and prolonged PR interval caused by first degree AV heart block, this we already discussed there, and even this we have discussed. And complete AV block led to, so complete AV block, if you can understand, if AV block is if AV node is blocked, then only SA node here of course acts as a pacemaker, and you can see the how the P is forming many times. QRS is also not proper, you can see there is no downward S component is not clear, and also there's some kind of like this extra. So this is a ECG how it looks in a complete AV block, which is seen by lead 3. So from here the part 2 begins. So you can see the premature contraction, in the name itself you can understand. Premature means before the normal contraction only this is forming. So you may try to get the reason here. So what would may be the reason? The main reason is forming of ectopic foci. Ectopic foci means you can understand other than SA node, if AV node or Purkinje system acts as a pacemaker, you can understand the waves are disturbed. So this leads to premature contraction. So let us see the theory part. So that is the main concept behind it. So let's move on to theory. So you can see here the contraction before the time that the normal contraction would happen. Yeah. So what is the normal contraction? You know, from SA node to AV node to Purkinje fibers, it is in an orderly form. But now it is missing this order because of this is called extrasystole or premature beat. Yeah, extrasystole because systole, you know, normal systole, diastole, but it is extrasystole because it is forming before. So this is also called as premature beat, or also called as ectopic beat, because this is mainly formed by the ectopic foci. So causes are result from the ectopic foci. They give the abnormal impulses at the odd times during the cardiac rhythm. Yeah, especially the odd times, not in a regular interval. So this causes of ectopic foci. So what are the causes? So we understood that premature contraction is due to ectopic foci. So now let us understand what are the causes of ectopic foci. So mainly the local areas of ischemia. You can understand if like SA node or AV node only gets ischemia, then other area starts to behave like a pacemaker, and other reason is small calcified plaques at different points in heart. Yeah, because of calcification also. Sometimes if calcification takes place in SA node, then AV node may act as a pacemaker, and also toxic irritation of AV node or Purkinje fibers or myocardium due to the infection, drugs, and also like nicotine, drugs like nicotine or caffeine. So all these drugs, what they do is they irritate the AV node, or because of this the ectopic foci start forming. And also mechanical initiation of premature contraction is frequent during the cardiac catheterization. You know, catheters, when we send the catheters, mainly by catheters also the pacemakers get irritated and they lead to premature contraction. And large premature contraction occur during the catheter entering the right ventricle and pressing against the endocardium. So you can understand, especially in the right ventricle, because of pressing of a right that endocardium of the right ventricle, it gets irritated and ectopic foci may start forming, or also premature beats may start forming. And now let us see PAC, that is premature atrial contraction. In atria, how the premature contraction is. So the P wave occurred too soon in the cycle, of course, you can understand. As the premature contraction is premature, so even the P wave is also premature, like it is occurring soon in the cycle. And PR interval is shortened, indicating the ectopic origin of beat. You can understand PR interval is shortened. So you know what is PR interval? Normal ECG, for example, if this is a normal ECG, this is not normal. Yeah, here you can see normal. This is P, this is our QRS complex. But remember, between P and Q only we have our PR interval, not with R. That is an important point to remember. So PR interval. So in PAC, what happens? The PR interval gets shortened. So if PR interval is shortened, you can understand that this is indicating the ectopic origin of beat in atria near the AV node, and also uh, one between the premature and the next contraction is prolonged, and this is called as compensatory pause. Yeah, actually one is getting like the first one is getting like this shortened, PR interval is getting shortened, but the next in the next contraction it is getting prolonged. So why it is prolonged? It is like a compensatory. You know, compensation means as the first one is shorter, now the pulses think like we need to prolong it as a compensatory pause. So due to the premature originated in the atrium, some distance from the SA node, and impulse had to travel by considerable amount of atrial muscle before it discharges SA node. Yeah, it is also now far from the SA node, so impulse also now need to move some considerable amount of atrial muscle before it discharges the SA node. SA node discharge late in premature cycle. And also here the SA node discharged late in the premature cycle, which made the succeeding SA node discharge also late in appearing. Of course, if the first one is late, you can understand it's like a complete order cycle. If the order is missed, of course the next one is also getting affected. So that is about our premature atrial contraction. Now let us see what is AV nodal or AV bundle premature contraction. So P wave is missing in the ECG of a premature contraction, of course, because everything takes place in SA node. If this is only disturbed, then P wave is completely missing in a premature contraction, and instead the P wave is superimposed onto QRST complex. Superimposed means it is lying just on the QRST complex, because the impulse travel backward into the atria to the same time that is travel towards into the ventricles. So this P distort QRS T complex, but P wave can't discrete as such. So what this means is, in a if a, what they are saying, AV bundle premature contraction. Now SA node is blocked, means P wave is not there, so only AV node is acting. So now what AV node does, at the same time as it forms QRS complex, at the same time AV node also produces our P wave. So both P wave and QRS complex appear at the same time. That is the problem in the case of our AV nodal premature contraction. So AV node premature contraction have same significance and cause atrial premature contraction. Yeah, it is also similar to the atrial premature contraction. So what is the main cause of this premature contraction is formation of ectopic foci, that is rather than normal pacemaker. So because of this, premature means instead of forming the normal contraction, they are forming before itself. So because of this, there is a disturbance abnormal in the waves. Now let us see what is premature ventricular contraction. So in ventricle what happens? So till now we have seen in atrium, and now let us see in that premature ventricular contraction. So in atria we have done, in AV node we have done, now coming to ventricle. So the QRS complex is prolonged because impulse conducted by the slow conducting muscle of ventricle rather than Purkinje system. So here also premature, but you can understand this point. It is QRS is prolonged because impulse is conducted by the slow conducting muscle rather than normally, you know, QRS should be formed by Purkinje system. You know, Purkinje is a fast system, but here it is wrong. Here it is reversed. That is, it is initiated by the slow conducting system, so it is prolonged, and the QRS increase, that is prolongated, and also having higher voltage, that is depolarization waves of ventricles mainly in the opposite polarity of each other partially neutralize each other. So in premature ventricular contraction, impulse travel only in the one direction and there is no neutralization effect, and one entire side or end of the ventricle is depolarized ahead of the other, which cause large electrical potential. So you can understand. First, the ventricle is getting entire side of the ventricle is depolarized ahead of another, so it is forming large electrical potentials. So T wave has electrical potential polarity exactly opposite to that of QRS, because slow conduction is by muscle, which cause the muscle fibers that depolarize first and also to repolarize first. So PVCs, that is preventricular contraction, few are benign and result from like cigarette smoking, excessive intake of coffee, lack of sleep, mild toxic states, and even emotional irritability. So all these are benign, means not so harmful. But many PVCs also result from the stray impulses, that is unimportant or unnecessary impulses or re-entrant signals that originate from the borders of infarcted or ischemic areas of heart, and not to be taken lightly. Yeah, this is very important, because re-entry also takes place in our fibrillation. In fibrillation normally the refractory period will be absent. We'll see although about this. Just to give an idea, re-entry cycle means whenever the refractory period is low or it is absent, then only the re-entry may take place. So this may lead to fibrillation, that is continuous abnormal beats. So here also the same may takes place. So PVC people, that is a premature ventricular contraction patients, have high risk of spontaneous lethal ventricular fibrillation, which is initiated by our yeah, premature ventricular contraction. So this is true when PVC occurred during vulnerable period for causing fibrillation, just at end of T wave when ventricles are coming out of the refraction. So just what we discussed now. So now let us see what is paroxysmal tachycardia. So this is abnormality in atria, Purkinje system or ventricles, cause rapid rhythmical discharge of impulses that spread in all directions of the heart, and this is mainly caused by the re-entrant circus movement feedback pathway that cause the local repeated self re-excitation. So because of rapid rhythm in the irritable focus, this focus becomes pacemaker of the heart. So now here you can understand it is also like somewhat fibrillation because of re-entering of stimulus. It is always initiating it. So this, because of this reason, it itself becomes as a pacemaker of a heart. So paroxysmal mean heart rate becomes rapid in paroxysm, and it ends as suddenly as it began, with pacemaker of heart instantly shifting back to the SA node. Later again it shifts to the SA node itself. So it can be stopped by vagal reflex. Vagus is parasympathetic, so it can easily stop it by mainly pressing the neck in the carotid sinus region, or anti-arrhythmic drugs also used, like to decrease the conduction or prolong the refractory period in the cardiac tissue. Yeah, here mainly we need to prolong the refractory period, because if we prolong the refractory period, there will be no re-entry of the impulses. You can understand, if there is no re-entry, then only you can have a normal for example, see, this is ventricular muscle. We have to get in a form of circle. So it's like sometime we have for the refractory period. So what happens, the signal once it comes, only this continues, and until it reaches this end point, next then only the second impulse can enter, and again this. If this refractory period is off, you can understand, this is absent, then this continuous signals will be coming. There is no certain limit point, so this may lead to fibrillation, that is over abnormal beating of a heart. So here in this diagrams we can easily see the atrial premature beat, lead one. So I can see this is a normal cycle. You can see total overall, but here you can see it is a premature beat. Again, it is coming suddenly. And here you can see ebinodal premature contraction. So you can see this is completely a normal cycle till here, but again you can see premature beat has again occurred. So this is what premature beat because of ectopic foci. And also you can see here how the premature beats are forming. Yeah, paroxysmal tachycardia. You can see here atrial paroxysmal tachycardia onset in the middle. So you can see how, because some refractory period is lost, there is continuous beating. You can see here like this. This is an atria. In the case of ventricle, you can see they're like forming some pillar-like thing. You can see here, ventricular paroxysmal tachycardia. So now let us move on to the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia. So it is like having the 95 to 150 beats per minute of increase in heart rate in the middle of the record. So it is having mainly inverted P wave. This is an important keyword in the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia seen before each QRST complex. So before each QRST complex, you can see an inverted P wave, that is the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia, and this P wave is mainly superimposed onto the normal T wave of preceding beat. Yeah, we'll see this diagram so you can understand. So yeah, you can see this is the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia onset in the middle of the record. So you can see how it is in the middle and also having an inverted P wave. So here you can see the inverted P waves. Next, as P wave is abnormal in shape, origin is also not near the SA node, of course. If it's normal P wave, then it will be from SA node. As it's abnormal, even the origin is not from the SA node, means it may be somewhere somewhat near to it, or also maybe some other ectopic foci. Next, coming to the ventricular paroxysmal tachycardia. So here also the ventricular premature beats occur without the normal beats interspersed serious under two reasons. Like first one is when occurs only when ischemic damage in ventricles, or second one is like ventricular tachycardia initiates the lethal condition of ventricular fibrillation because of rapid repeated stimulation of the ventricular muscle. So it may also be due to like intoxication by treatment of drug like digitalis, which cause the irritable foci leading to the ventricular tachycardia, and also antiarrhythmic drugs like aminodazole or lidocaine, which are given for the treatment of ventricular tachycardia. Lidocaine mainly depress normal activity and increase in the sodium permeability during generation of action potential, so blocking the rhythmical discharge of focal point, in that mainly causing the paroxysmal attack. And it's coming to aminodarone, prolong the action potential and refractory period, and also slow the AV conduction. So cardioversion with electric shock to heart needed for the restoration of normal heart rhythm. So we give this one, cardioversion with electric shock. If we give the shock, we'll put something like this. So because of the shock, actually what happens is all the beats get normal. That is, again now the new impulse start coming from the SA node, and they follow the proper order, like coming from SA node to AB node Purkinje system. So they'll follow the normal order. So by giving the electric shock. Next, coming to the ventricular fibrillation. So most serious of all arrhythmias is not stopped within 1 to 3 minutes. It is fatal condition, of course. So mainly ventricular fibrillation is from the cardiac impulses which are gone berserked within that is dangerous within the ventricular muscle. Then next go to the another portion, again to the next portion. So feeding back on itself to re-excite the same ventricular muscle will be contracting at the same time simultaneously. So because of this simultaneous contraction, it will be like continuous like abnormal rhythms, continuous abnormal, that is fibrillation. So coordination cycle of pumping is disturbed, and even though there's massive stimulation, ventricles don't respond, so doesn't pump the blood. So unconsciousness will occur within 4 to 5 seconds. You can understand whenever the ventricle is not responding well to the normal beats, then you can understand the blood supply also decreased to the, because stroke volume is affected, cardiac output is affected in turn. So this will lead to the low blood supply to our brain, especially this may lead to unconscious or fainting of the person within 4 to 5 seconds because of lack of blood flow to the brain, and death of the tissue occurs throughout the body within few minutes. So what are the causes? The first cause is sudden electric shock, that is due to this fibrillation, and second one is due to ischemia of heart muscle of specialized conducting system, or both. So because of ischemia also sometimes this condition may happen. You can understand as the blood supply is low to the heart muscle, even it may undergo this fibrillation process. So now let us see what is the sulcus movement, the basis of ventricular fibrillation. That is the basic behind the ventricular fibrillation is our sulcus movement, that is the re-entry, the refractory period, all those we'll see. So whenever the normal impulse is given normally, there will be no place to go because already the whole ventricle is refractory. Refractory means already it is continuing one cycle, so it will now not allow any other cycle. So impulse dies and the heart waits for the new action potential to begin in the SA node. So this is the normal cycle which is going on. By re-entering, that is leading to sulcus movement, but this is an abnormal condition where the re-entry takes place, so in turn causing the ventricular fibrillation. So this is the reason. So here you can see, I'll explain here by this diagram very easily. So you can see this is absolute refractory period. So this is a normal pathway, like one cycle is going on, so it will continue. Again no other cycle will enter because it will not allow, the refractory period will not allow. But here this is an abnormal long pathway. You can see as the refractory period is decreasing, there is continuous cycle again. Even one more can also add up to it. So this is leading to very abnormal cycle. In ECG, if you see the ventricular fibrillation, you will get shocked because you see this one. How is this like ECG or something? You can see it's like bizarre, means completely abnormal cycle of ECG is seen mainly in our ventricular fibrillation, mainly caused due to the sulcus movements. So you can see this is in a 12 o'clock position. Impulse travels only in the one direction, and refractory are now not able to allow the second impulse normally. So the pathway around the circle is longer than the normal by the time it reaches 12 o'clock position. So originally stimulated muscle now no longer be refractory and impulse will be continue around the circle again and again. So this is what causing the fibrillation as impulse is moving again and again, and if the length is constant but the velocity of conduction decreases and increase in interval of time will elapse before the impulse returns to 12 o'clock position. So by this time originally stimulated muscle will be out of refractory state and impulse can continue around cycle again and again. So refractory period is shortened and also impulse continue around and around the circle. Yeah, around and around the circle. So this all occurs in long pathway, occurs in typically dilated heart, or also when there is decreased rate of conduction which is resulting from blockage of Purkinje system, ischemia, or increase in high blood pressure, or many other factors also affect this. And shortening refractory period occurs in response to drugs like epinephrine after repetitive electrical stimulation. So epinephrine can be used here, and also so re-entry may cause abnormal patterns of cardiac contraction or abnormal cardiac rhythms that ignore the pace settings effects of SNO. So this mainly affects SNO. So next let us see ECG in ventricular fibrillation. Just now we have saw that ECG. So ECG is bizarre. In the first few seconds the muscle contracts simultaneously and cause a course irregular waves. Later course uh, contractions disappear and the ECG changes into new pattern of low voltage irregular waves. So no repetitive ECG pattern can be described to fibrillation. It contracts 30 to 50 small patches at a time. Voltages are like 0.5 millivolts in the first fibrillation begins and decay rapidly after 20 to 30 seconds, and they are usually only 0.2 to 0.3 millivolts. The minute voltage of 0.1 millivolt or less may be also recorded for 10 minutes or longer after fibrillation begins. So because there is no pumping of blood occurs in fibrillation, this is lethal unless stopped by heroic therapy such as immediate electroshock by the heart. So the only treatment is electroshock, because by giving the electroshock again everyone comes to the, that is every signal come to the normal condition. Now let us see what is electroshock defibrillation of ventricle. Even this is like a treatment given to our fibrillation patient. So this is a moderate alternating current voltage applied directly to the ventricles which throws the ventricles into fibrillation. A strong high voltage electrical current is passed by ventricles for fraction of second can stop the fibrillation by throwing all ventricle into refractiveness. So this is completed by passing intense current by large electrodes placed on the sides of the heart. So this is mainly done to bring all of the ventricle muscle immediately into refractiveness. You can understand when we bring the muscle again back to the refractiveness, so now there is no chance for the new impulses to enter and the set again it gets set. So this makes the ventricles of all parts refractory, all action potential stop, and the heart remains quiescent like silent for 3 to 5 seconds. Later it start beating with a synode or some part of the heart becoming the pacemaker. So if same reentrant focus enter ventricles again, fibrillation may begin. Yeah, after doing this treatment also again the fibrillation reentrant is coming in. So if electrodes are applied directly to the two sides of the heart, the stimulation stops using 1000 volts of direct current applied for few thousand seconds. So when applied two electrodes on chest wall, usual procedure to charge large electrical capacitance up to several thousand volts and cause capacitance up to several thousand volts and cause capacitor to discharge for few thousands of seconds by electrodes of heart. So increased risk of ventricular fibrillation, small battery powered implantable cardioverter defibrillator ICD with electrode wires lodged in right ventricle may be implanted in the patient. The device programmed to detect the ventricular fibrillation and revert it by delivering brief electrical impulse to the heart, that is delivering. So ICDs deliver enough electrical current to defibrillate heart by electrode wires implanted subcutaneously outside the ribcage near heart rather than in or heart itself, and are implanted by minor surgical procedure. So hand pumping or cardiopulmonary resuscitation and aid to the defibrillation within 1 minute. If no defibrillation, heart is too weak to be revived by defibrillation because of lack of nutrition from coronary blood flow. So but possible by preliminary pumping by hand because blood go to the aorta and renewed coronary blood supply. So by hand it takes 90 minutes followed by successful defibrillation. So intermittent thrust of pressure on chest by artificial respiration without opening the chest wall. This plus defibrillation is called the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, that is also called as CPR. So more than 5 to 8 minutes if there is no blood to the brain, it may cause a permanent mental impairment or also cause the destruction of brain tissue. So if heart even is okay, that is if even heart is fine, but the brain may damage or a person may die by the effects of brain damage or also may leave permanent mental impairment. So this is all about like some of just reading it, because all those are important points which I found. So this is about our second part, and in our third part we'll continue from our atrial fibrillation and atrial flutter, cardiac arrest, and also our vector analysis will be in our third part. That's it.